expert woodsman who can cut down a tree more easily than most people can chop one up. When it really comes to tackling large lumps, you can't beat the men of the forestry companies.
An axeman's gathering.
This is Thomas losing the loss that gets it.
STIHL Timbersports Canada is brought to you by the City of Charlottetown. Great things happen here. And by STIHL IMO. Let the robotic lawnmower from STIHL manicure your lawn. Welcome to Canada's STIHL Timbersports Series. STIHL's Canadian Championship is comprised of 3 rounds and 6 overall disciplines unique to the world of STIHL Timbersports. In round number 1, all athletes will face 3 separate disciplines: the underhand chop, the stock saw, and the standing block chop. From here, our top 8 athletes with most overall points move on to compete in round number 2. In round number 2, our athletes will compete in 2 more disciplines. They are the single buck and the springboard chop. After round number 2 is complete, our top 6 athletes with the most cumulative points will move on to compete in our 3rd and final round. In round number 3, these 6 athletes will compete in our loudest and fastest discipline yet, the hot saw. At the end of the 3rd round, the athlete with the highest overall score will be crowned our Canadian STIHL Timbersports champion. This is the world of STIHL Timbersports.
Hi folks, thanks for tuning in to our 2022 STIHL Timbersports Canadian Championship. This year we're located in the beautiful oceanside city of Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island.
Yeah, it's been great being here, Lindsay, and for all you at home, thanks for joining us. Today we have 12 of Canada's top STIHL Timbersports athletes competing for not only the chance to win the 2022 Canadian Championship, but also one of these athletes will claim a spot to represent Team Canada at the STIHL Timbersports World Championships later this year.
So far, we've seen our athletes compete in 2 official STIHL Timbersports disciplines, the underhand chop and the steel stock saw. Let's take a look at our official STIHL Timbersports scoreboard and highlights after completing these first 2 disciplines.
Before we get started, Lindsay, let's hear a little more about what makes Charlottetown PEI so special.
Play 18 holes at Crowbush overlooking the stunning North Shore dunes of PEI. Crowbush continues to enthrall all those that take the challenge to conquer one of North America's very best golf courses. Undulating fairways, water holes with a wisp of wind, pot bunkers, and challenging greens all come together to provide you with an experience not to be forgotten. This is truly an unbelievable combination of nature and imagination.
Hi folks, your STIHL Timbersports Canada co-host Ryan McIntyre here. Up next is the standing block chop. Let's have a look at what our athletes are up against.
The standing block chop simulates the cutting down of a tree with an axe. Competitors will aim to cut through the log using 45-degree angled marks that they will use as guides. If you miss your marks, you're going to fall behind. Once you chop halfway through your block, you will switch sides and complete your cut. Competitors are required to use a minimum of 6 nails at the top of the log on each side, which keeps the log in one piece and avoids a big slab of wood coming off, forcing the athlete to cut through the complete block. Time stops when the block is severed from both sides.
All right, folks, we're ready for our first heat of the standing block chop. Coming up on stand number 1, you gotta make some noise for Connor Morse.
Head-to-head with Connor all the way through round 1 on stand 2, Thomas Turbo Henderson. Couple of Dalhousie Agricultural Campus, Dal AC grads. And again, former rookie Canadian champions. They know how to swing an axe. And I bet you there's a few side bets going on with these boys.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Here we go, folks. You gotta cheer on your athletes. This is the first heat of the standing block chop. Thomas Henderson opening up that front side, looking good. Connor Morse right on his tail, getting plenty of slope, plenty of rhythm. Look at those pieces just jump out of the block. They are turning at the same time. We're reaching that 20-second mark. This is where they really gotta bring the heat in this last little bit. Here we go, looking good. There we go, Connor Morse hitting his marks, but Thomas Henderson on stand 2. He's feeling it wiggle. He wants it to go. And Connor Morse on stand number 1, looking good. Nice.
Nice close race. Both cut it well. Firm sticks.
We have 2 good cuts.
Fantastic news, setting the bar high.
Yeah, that's my event. I mean, of all the events that for whatever reason, I've never lost. I can still kind of do standing block fairly well. I've got some decent axes. I can't swing them quite as fast, so I'll go with a lighter axe and a little bit shorter handle, likely in the standing block, just to keep the pace.
All right, we're ready for our next heat of the standing block chop. Coming up on stand number 1, make some noise for Ron Cumberland.
Heat 2, taking on Rod, Donald Lambert.
Now, both of these competitors, this is their favorite event. This is their bread and butter. They love the standing block chop. We're going to see 2 great times from these competitors. There you go. You can see the chalk marks on their blocks. Why don't you tell the folks what the chalk that you see on the standing blocks?
Well, it's giving them a guide. You know, they roughly
30
want to follow
seconds.
45-degree angles. So by having those lines on there, it allows them to have some sort of idea of roughly the angle they want to take with the axe. You don't want to go straight in. The axe just won't penetrate. You have to follow that nice steep slope. If you do that, it's going to come off clean. If you don't, you're going to be having a hard time.
I'm just loving Rod's sunglasses out here today.
Legendary.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Here we go, Rod Cumberland first to the wood, looking good. He's hitting his marks and he's hitting them well.
Good stick.
Looking good. There we go, but Donald Lambert looking good on stand number 2, but they can't hear you. Cheer for them, folks. Make some noise. Looking good. Nice run to the other side. Rod Cumberland
Great stick.
working good. We have his sons standing by, cheering him on. Donald Lambert on stand 2. He's making his way through. Looking good. This is going to be a tight heat, and look at that. Ron Cumberland, Donald Lambert on stand 2. He's done excellent times for both of our competitors. Jonathan Russell, conducting judge for today's championship, making the final call.
And we have 2 good cuts.
Fantastic news for both of our competitors. Rod Cumberland feeling good about his unofficial time of 31.66 seconds.
Don't go anywhere, folks. We have more exciting coverage of the 2022 STIHL Timbersports Canadian Championship coming right up.
Welcome back to the 2022 Steel Timber Sports Canadian Championship in downtown Charlottetown, PEI. As a past competitor, one of the biggest things I can say about this discipline is that the balance of power, speed, and accuracy is everything. Of course, you want to make sure to follow your marks, but this is a race against the clock, so you can't afford to dawdle. You have to swing as fast and as hard as you can, but you need to have control and place the axe right where you need it to be.
All right, we're ready for our next heat of the standing block chop. Coming up on stand number 1, make some noise for Scott Reed.
Right behind Scott, he loves this event. From Pubnico, Berlin Nickerson. Lefty versus righty. Scott loves this event. Big power hitter, moves a ton of wood.
Absolutely, and this is Nova Scotia versus Nova Scotia. They're very familiar with each other's abilities. They're going to be racing to get that best time in this heat.
Getting their foot positions in place so that they can cut that perfectly square from both sides.
There we go. Berlin mapping out his footwork so he can get the smoothest transition from side to side.
Puts an axe sheath down so he knows where to stop his back foot.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
There we go, folks. We're off onto another heat of the standing block chop, and Berlin Nickerson on stand number 2, sending those chips flying into the air, but it's Scott Reed, the first to turn. He's on to the other side. He has his family cheering him on. Berlin Nickerson, stand number 2. Looking good out there, folks. Who's it gonna be? You gotta cheer him on. Down to the couple of hits. Looks like Berlin wants to drive it off. He wants it bad, but he knows he has to make a few more chip hits. It's looking good.
Oh,
wow.
Look at that. What a race. Whoops.
We're going to have a video review on stand number 2.
There you have it, folks. Looks like a video review for Berlin Nickerson. Gonna be looking at that last moment of the heat.
You cannot touch that log and push it off. Berlin knows that. He may have just given it a feint. We're gonna see if it was a phantom push or if he really went for it and gave it the finger poke of doom.
Yeah. All right, folks. It looks like our judges are making their way back up to our Steel Timber Sports stage. They're going to be making the call on stand number 2. That's Berlin Nickerson. Hopefully we have a good call. We'll see in just a couple of seconds.
Okay, stand 1, we have a good cut. And after video review on stand number 2, it's inconclusive if he actually hit the block with his hand. So the benefit goes to the athlete. It's a good cut.
Wow.
I've heard of the jump gun. I've never heard of the finishing pistol being the end to a chop. But boy, you got it done either way. Talk us through the chop. I know the finish, there was some controversy, but you got through that. How was the chop overall, Berlin?
Yeah, I don't know. I just can't settle into my chops today. It was a mess. I ran out of wood on the front, so I had no choice but to do my driving heads down, which is kind of, not what you're supposed to do on a standing block. So when I come around the other side, I ran out of wood again. I don't know what I'm doing wrong there, but so I was driving down, and the block was actually cut for 2 or 3 seconds, but it wouldn't drive out because I'd done both down drivers. So it was sitting in the V, but it was teetering out. So I just kind of went to point at it and say, like, hey, it's cut. And anyway, I guess that got called a inconclusive DQ. So.
No, not a DQ. Inconclusive non-DQ. That's a good time for Berlin Nickerson. And if that holds, he may have enough points to get through to round 2. Best of luck, Berlin, and maybe we'll see you in the springboard and the single block next.
All right, folks, we're ready for heat number 4 of the standing block chop. Make some noise for stand number 1, Nick Russell.
And on stand 2, Wayne the Lightning Paulson.
Here we go, folks. We got your West Coast heat. Nick Russell coming from Port McNeill, BC, but he is an East Coast boy at heart. Let's be honest. And then Wayne Paulson coming from Alberta.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Strong start for both of our choppers, but it's Wayne Paulson on stand number 2. He's really having a good time with that front side. Look at the slabs coming out of that block. He's the first to turn. Nick Russell making that transition. A bit early, we don't know. We'll look at that backside. Now it's really starting to come out. Nick Russell, he definitely wants it, but it's Wayne Paulson on stand number 2. He's feeling really good about his chop here. He's gonna start driving it off. He nuts it, but it's Nick Russell. Wow, that could have gone anywhere.
That was a race. If that stands, it's new time to beat for Nick Russell, 30.96.
Not bad. Wayne Paulson right on his tail with 31.40 seconds.
We have 2 good cuts.
Fantastic news from both of our competitors. They're feeling good about that cut. Nick Russell walking away with an unofficial time of 30.96 seconds.
Don't go anywhere, folks. We have more exciting coverage of the 2022 Steel Timber Sports Canadian Championship coming right up.
All right, folks, we're ready for Heat 5 of the standing block chop. Coming up on stand number 1, make some noise for Jeff Larkin.
Head-to-head with Jeff. On stand number 2, Ben Cumberland.
This is definitely going to be a fast heat from both of our competitors, Jeff Larkin, Ben Cumberland.
2 different styles, Lindsay. Larkin tends to take a big, powerful swing, get the most out of that axe. Ben with he puts an enormous pace behind his swing in the standing block and a big swinging arch into his axe. It's an incredibly fun race to watch, and these guys, I think they're going to be pretty close.
Exactly, yeah. Ben Cumberland with the speed and just the attack on the wood for sure. But we'll see from Jeff Larkin, it's just the specificity and really hitting his marks.
30 seconds. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Here we go, we're ready into our next heat. Ben Cumberland bringing the speed first to the wood, and he's going to be the first to turn as well. Jeff Larkin, stand 1, working away on that first side. He's running to the second, but it's Ben Cumberland already with an amazing unofficial 17 seconds, but he gotta keep it going for Jeff Larkin. He's still gonna make a great time. He's looking good. He's gonna start driving any second here. Wow, that is one tough block right there, but it's starting to go.
Tough stick for Jeff, but my goodness, what a cut from Ben Cumberland. You folks just saw a former rookie world champion, and he is chasing his first national title here today. He wants it bad, Lindsay.
Absolutely. Last time we saw him, he took the second place podium, and he wants that first.
Hungry. You see the little hair pull right before the start. That's a classic Cumberland maneuver. Gets them all fired up right before the chop. Yeah.
All right, judge is going to make the final call.
We have 2 good cuts.
Fantastic news for both Ben Cumberland and Jeff Larkin.
17.41 seconds unofficially. Ben Cumberland with a furious pace in that standing block. Talk us through that cut, pal. If you can remember, it happened so quickly.
Oh, the glory to God, that one went better than I expected. So, like I said, 2019 was last official competition, so I could not be happier with how things are going today.
All right, folks, we're ready for our last heat of the standing block chop. Make some noise for stand number 1, Nathan Cumberland.
And on stand 2, your reigning champion, Marcel Dupuis. Big crowd, big Marcel fans here.
Now this is definitely going to be the fastest heat of our standing block. Both of these previous Canadian champions are just masters of the standing block chop.
Yeah, and Nathan definitely brings a pace that is unparalleled. He's one of the best in the world at this event. Marcel, no slouch. He won this event, I believe, at the World Championships earlier this year when he was competing to represent Canada. Pretty impressive.
Absolutely.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Great start for both of our competitors here. Nathan Cumberland on stand number 1, giving it everything he's got. But they're turning at the same time, folks. This could be anyone's game. Looks like Marcel kicked a piece of chip out of his way. He wants to finish fast. Who's it gonna be? It's looking like stand number 1 with Nathan Cumberland. Marcel right behind. Last piece.
Great race there.
Once again, that last little piece of
Fibers
Aspen.
holding on.
My goodness.
Those guys were racing, Lindsay. Those are not the prettiest chops you'll see,
No.
but those were fast.
They were.
But Ben Cumberland taking the event.
Yeah.
17:55. How about that? That puts it all in perspective. A 17-second cut on that wood. My goodness, that was fast.
We're going to do a video review on stand number 1.
Looking at stand number 1, Nathan Cumberland. Bit of a fast start, maybe a jump gun.
3,
We'll see.
2, 1, go!
Great start for both of our competitors.
Yeah, it
here.
looked good to me. I suspect they're looking at the jump gun. It was a quick start by
Yeah.
Nate, but I think he's clean. Looked good to me.
Looks like a very short review for our judges. Coming back up to the stage, making Nathan sweat a little bit, but
He didn't need to push it off with his hand, that's for sure, Lindsay.
he did not.
The axe did all the work there.
It really did. Great heat from both of our competitors.
After video review, we have 2 good cuts.
All right.
Fantastic news for both Nathan Cumberland and Marcel Dupuis.
There you have it. Round 1 is complete, and our top 8 athletes are advancing into round 2, where they will face 2 more Steel Timber Sports disciplines. Thanks again for joining us from Charlottetown, PEI. We hope you tune in next week for more coverage from the 2022 Steel Timber Sports Canadian Championships.